Why does Donald Trump continue to have strong support in 2026? The answer isn't simple. It comes down to a mix of policy, identity, perception, and trust. I'll explain what I see. Donald Trump's rise in popularity wasn't due to a single factor. It was a convergence of timing, media strategy, and voter sentiment. Many voters feel disconnected from traditional politicians, and Donald Trump positioned himself as an outsider who would drain the swamp. Through his mastery of media and unfiltered communication, he resonated with the voters. His focus on the key issues of immigration control, trade deals and manufacturing jobs, national identity, and security all were key to the American voter. Political disrespect characterized by incivility, insults, and extreme polarization has risen to historic levels in the United States, with over 80% of Americans viewing it as a serious issue. The political tone in America today is highly polarized, intensely negative, and marked by a breakdown in trust and respectful discourse. A significant majority of America views the political debate as less respectful, less fact-based, and increasingly toxic. This environment features deeply divided opinions on leadership, with growing ideological divides and declining trust in federal government. There is deep distrust of both Democrats and Republicans, and neither party is able to put forth the best candidate. Two slogans worked well in Trump's campaign: "Make America Great Again" and "Take America Back." Slogans are nothing new in presidential campaigns. John F. Kennedy was elected by promising, "We can do better." This button from the 1980 election, featuring the Republican ticket of Ronald Reagan and George Bush, has the words, "Reagan-Bush in 1980, let's make America great again." Reagan defeated Carter in 1980 by asking the simple question, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" And then Barack Obama ran on the slogan of change, claiming that things had gone wrong and only he could set things right. I'm not sure that America had lost its greatness, but we were told it was no longer great and it was time to take it back again. We keep hearing from Trump that the social fabric of America is in tatters. But the numbers don't entirely support that. College and high school graduations have never been higher. Teen pregnancy is less than half of what it was 20 years ago. The Gallup poll reports that over-drinking has declined. Suicide rates have declined. Civil rights support is greater than ever. We're told that our military is weak and our country is no longer respected. And yet, if we look at the statistics, the United States currently operates 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, supercarriers, unmatched in defense, spending almost $900 billion annually, has global reach and technology unmatched by its next competitor, Russia, that has 0 aircraft carriers, and China, that has 3, but additional carriers are in development. The image that was presented to America is our country has really turned sour, and we need a superhero to take it back. A 79-year-old in declining health was presented to us as invincible. Some have even called him a savior, while others have called him the imperfect messenger. Christianity and the symbol of the crucifix appears to be instrumentalized for power. It's ironic that Trump's personal behavior and rhetoric don't align with the teachings of Jesus Christ, especially on humility, compassion, and moral conduct. Christianity appears to be used as a political tool. Christian leaders support it because it aligns with Christian priorities such as abortion restrictions, religious liberty protections, and certain judicial appointments. And very little or nothing is done about the offensive things that come out of Trump's mouth. Trump's mockery of Sergei Kovaleski shows a level of disregard and cluelessness. In spite of public outrage of Trump's posting of the Obamas in a racial video, he refused to apologize. In a post unbecoming of the President of the United States, Trump posted on the announcement of Robert Mueller's death, "I'm glad he's dead." When dignitaries from around the world come to the White House, those inside the White House and outside the White House are concerned about what will come out of Trump's mouth. His inaccurate and crude thoughts are expressed inappropriately and with poor humor. And his admiration by his followers doesn't fade in spite of his relationship with a porn star. He was right at the heart of an attempt to overturn an election in spite of the rulings of courts across the nation. A jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation, but his support still continues. Trump is at the heart of the Jeffrey Epstein case, where horrific crimes against women and minors were committed. Trump was charged in a federal criminal case for how he handled classified documents after leaving office. He willfully retained classified information, violating the Espionage Act. Allegedly, he obstructed justice by trying to prevent the government from retrieving the documents. And he is also charged with making false statements. The government argued that he had sensitive materials, including military intelligence information. He refused to return everything when asked, and he and his associates took steps to conceal the documents from investigators. Does the sheer volume of documents alone ask you why a former president would want so many classified or unclassified documents in their home? In the end, the questions of the American public were never answered. On the basis of presidential immunity being reelected, Judge Eileen Cannon dismissed the case. Now that we are at war with Iran, don't you have great reservation about the Trump family's dealing with Qatar, including the development of a luxury golf resort and villas? To me, it seems inappropriate for the President of the United States to be selling his own brand in a gift shop within the White House. I'm concerned that Trump's leadership is characterized by high impulsivity. It's often described as on a whim, emotion, or instinct rather than deliberate strategy. His decisions are often made quickly, without extensive consultation, driven by visceral responses and personal feelings. His Twitter outbursts, his verbalizing whatever he thinks, and his lashing out are all inappropriate behaviors for the President of the United States. Overall, Trump's record is mixed, with clear cases of both follow-through and unmet and disputed promises. How do things stand at DOGE, our Department of Government Efficiency? Are there real plans for the ballroom at the White House? And why is it a priority at this point in time? How are the concepts of that plan coming along to replace the Affordable Care Act? Why is there so much distrust and anger over ICE policies? Most Americans support immigration and enforcement in principle, but there's great criticism over lack of training and scope expanding beyond the intended purpose. Oh, and this new word, groceries. I don't know about you, but my grocery prices continue to rise. He's decided to close the U.S. Department of Education. What's the plan to make America's schools great again? The Department of Health and Human Services has been turned upside down. What's the plan to make it a world standard again? Do you share my frustration? I've grown tired of overpromises and false rhetoric. There's a pattern noted by fact checkers. Trump has made numerous false and misleading claims in his speeches and public statements. The truth matters, and America deserves to hear the truth from its president. It's time for America to look to the future with hopes and dreams, and not to be focused on the ideals of the past. Don't be fooled by fake news. There is no such thing as alternative facts. It's easy to retreat to our own bubble and tune in to the news we want to hear. The news that agrees with what we already know. Yes, the party animals aren't what they used to be. Things have changed, and media has changed as well. There's a left side, a center side, and a right side, even in established media. Be on guard for fake news and choose your news sources knowing they come with their own biases. Don't take mental shortcuts simply by trusting someone who appears to be credible. Remember that people tend to accept information that supports what they already believe and dismiss what contradicts it. Strong emotions of fear, anger, and excitement reduce critical thinking. Humans are social. If a message comes to us from a trusted group, we accept it many times without scrutiny. If we don't understand a topic, we're less able to detect inaccuracies or manipulation. It behooves us to dig further and research or reserve judgment. In our busy lives, we often don't have time to verify everything. This leads to quick judgments, which increases susceptibility to misinformation. Ironically, if we think we're too smart to be fooled, we may be less cautious and more vulnerable. If you've stayed with the video to this point, I'm sure you're a person that will not blindly follow others. We've been promised an awful lot in the last few years, but one thing I've come to know is that no one politician in Washington can fix everything. America is in the fever stage of political illness. The current level of friction, gridlock, and outrage is unsustainable. Recovery will require change, and that will take place in the voting booth. Let's put country over party and unite America again.